Episode 51 of The Human Experience is Kelvin's story. Kelvin was born and raised in Kenya, where he runs his own business called Rustic Nature Tours, a customizable safari company operating in Kenya and Tanzania. I met Kelvin after I booked one of his tours around Nairobi, visiting the elephant sanctuary and the giraffe house. His knowledge about and care for Kenya and its inhabitants prompted me to ask him to do an interview. Kelvin originally attended university to become a diplomat, as it was his dream to travel. But he would find the job unfulfilling, so he began working for safari companies, eventually starting his own. Kelvin is someone who clearly cares about his work. If you're ever in the market for a safari in Kenya or Tanzania, please consider booking with Kelvin and Rustic Nature Tours. You can find a link to Kelvin's website in the show notes. This episode was recorded in Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome to The Human Experience, a podcast about the stories we live out every day and the importance of championing the vulnerability and courage of the storyteller. I'm your host, Jennifer Peterkin, and it was through my own lived story of experiencing domestic violence that this podcast was created. By traveling the globe and interviewing each guest in person, I am convinced now more than ever that stories have the power to change the world. You can join our community of storytellers by subscribing, leaving a rating and review, signing up for my newsletter, following me on Instagram, and more. Thank you for being here. In a world full of noise, to listen with intention is an act of resistance. So, we're in Kenya right now. We're in Nairobi right now, which is where you live currently.
Yes.
But you're from the east.
Eastern part of Kenya.
The east, like the coastal part.
Yes. Cool. Almost to the coastal part of Kenya. Yes.
So what is your town called again?
Voi.
Voi?
Yes. My rural town?
Yeah.
Yes, Voi.
It's Voi.
Voi.
And it's near?
It's near Mombasa.
Near Mombasa.
Near the coastal part of Kenya.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
I've been there once.
You've been to
like
Voi?
2 days. No. The coastal part of Kenya.
Yes.
Once for like 2 days, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So I would go back for sure.
Yeah.
So,
you should.
Yeah, I will. I will definitely be back. Yeah.
Wonderful.
I came for the first time last year, and I've already come back.
Yes.
So I feel like...
I think soon you might settle here.
Yeah, you think?
Who knows?
I don't know about that.
Who knows?
Oh, yeah. My mom would...
Your mom would?
No. No. She's got too many grandbabies at home.
Yes.
So what was growing up like?
Growing up?
Yeah. You're from a rural town. You settled in a huge city.
Yes.
What was... Yeah.
Growing up was not that easy. Yes, because as we're in Kenya and predominantly my parents were not that, I would not say economically stable as you would expect.
Yeah.
It was not that easy growing up. There were a lot of struggles here and there, but here I am.
Yes, here you are.
Yes.
And your family still lives there, right?
Yes, my parents are still back at home. Everyone lives there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What is that area known for?
It's known for agriculture and also wildlife.
Okay.
Because we are next to one of the biggest parks in Kenya.
Which
that is Tsavo National Park. Yes.
Yes. It may seem really silly, but I didn't realize how many safari parks or parks that you can safari in were in Kenya. Yeah, I don't know. I think, especially in America, you hear about go to South Africa on safari.
Yes.
But I feel like, I haven't been to South Africa, but I feel like Kenya is a really good option.
Kenya is one of the best destinations for safari. I think we were voted more than 8 times as the best safari destination in Africa, in the world, competing, of course, with South Africa and Tanzania. Yes.
That's awesome.
So it's a tug of war between those 3 countries.
Those are the 3 biggest?
Yes, those are the 3 biggest safari destinations. But I have a feeling Kenya is more prime in terms of safari.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So one thing that Kenya is known for is Nairobi National Park, which is the only national park in the world that is bordering a city.
Yes, it's the only wildlife capital of the world.
Okay.
That is what Nairobi is known for, because Nairobi National Park is the only wildlife capital in a city anywhere in the world.
Which is wild, because I went in Nairobi National Park for the first time, and you're literally seeing giraffes and zebras
Yes.
and the city skyline in the background.
Correct.
And it feels super surreal.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it is really cool to be able to fly into a place like Nairobi, which is really easy to get to.
Yes.
And be able to go have that experience.
Yes. It's literally a city where you can just land and within minutes you're seeing lions in the wild, buffaloes in the wild. There's no other place you can do that. Naturally in the wild, not a zoo, a real national park in their natural habitat.
Truly.
That's the only capital you can do that in the world. There's nowhere else you can do that.
So everybody should do it, is what I'm hearing.
Everybody.
And then once you do it, you're going to want to keep doing it.
Correct.
And keep going further and further.
It becomes like an addiction.
Yeah.
You don't stop.
I feel like that. I feel like I'm already like, when am I coming back?
Yes. You don't stop. Yeah.
It's just, it is, I don't know. I can't explain it. And I really appreciated something you said earlier, not while we were recording, but actually when you took us touring yesterday.
Yes.
Which was that it doesn't matter how long you've lived here or how many times you've seen it. It still is amazing every time.
Every day is fresh. Every day is beautiful.
Yeah.
It never gets tired. You never get tired of seeing that lion, seeing that elephant.
That's amazing.
It's just a unique experience every time. It's not boring. It's just beautiful. Yes.
But I feel like maybe not everybody feels like that. You have such a passion for it, right?
Correct.
So where did that come from?
I would say it's inborn. I love wildlife and I literally love people. And I love showing people and sharing with them my passion, which is wildlife, nature. I feel in tune with nature. It makes me whole. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you move to Nairobi?
When I started my studies towards the beginning of my college education. Yeah. I would say, adult life. Yeah. I've been in the city studying through university, then work, and here we are today.
Yeah. What did you go to university for?
I did international relations.
Good for
That's
you.
my undergrad. But I also did a diploma in wildlife management. Yes.
There it
Yes.
is.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes. That's my minor.
Yeah.
But my majors is in IR. I'm literally a diplomat.
Yeah. Yes, you are. Look at you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you did this minor in wildlife studies. You now own your own company doing the safari thing, tours around Nairobi too.
All over the country, not
all
just
over the
Nairobi.
country. Oh, okay.
Yes.
See, yeah. What do you call it? Rustic
Nature Tours.
Rustic Nature Tours.
Yes.
So you do safari, you do tours all over the country.
Yes.
What was the journey from graduating from university to opening your own business?
It's a long journey.
I'm here for it.
Yes. When I left campus, I did some diplomatic work in some diplomatic missions, of course, in Kenya, through the consular affairs, worked for some time, but I realized I was not happy. So I quit. And then I decided to follow my passion. So for some time, I worked for different companies, excelled really well, doing tours and safaris. Then I decided, no, let me start my own thing and build it even better. and that's where we are today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So when did you open your company?
My company, I opened it in 2017, but the operations started in 2018.
Okay.
And then COVID hit.
Yeah, you had 2 really good years, right?
Yes.
And things were going so good.
So good. And then COVID struck. So that almost ran us bankrupt. Yeah. But here we are today, trying to pick up the pieces really hard. Yes.
Yeah. It feels like you're doing it.
I'm trying.
You're very passionate about it.
I am.
And I think passion does go a long way.
Correct, yes.
When you're chasing a goal and a dream, right?
Yes.
If you care enough about it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's where change happens, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And I know the big change is coming through, the big breakthrough is going to happen soon.
Yeah.
I just have a strong feeling about it.
I'm holding on to that for you. I love that.
Yes.
So what was it like working with other companies?
That's a good question. How was it like? I would say I was happy doing the greatness I was doing for them But as I was a person, there's some things I was not happy about. Because yes, I am here doing all this great work, making all these great recommendations, great clients, but I was not really getting rewarded for it as I should. And there are things that were not right with me. So I decided maybe if I start my own thing, I can do things the best way I know is fair for everybody, including those who will be working for me. I would not want for them to feel the same way I felt, because they're giving it their all, their experience, their expertise. They're sharing their experiences with people from all over the world. And I want them to give the best. Yes.
That's a great point of view. I
Yes.
think it sounds simple and it sounds obvious,
Very,
but it's something that we don't do well often.
Correct. Yeah.
We get too caught up in the management, what we're supposed to be doing as leaders, when really the best way to lead is to give people the freedom to do their best.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just provide the leeway and let you be you.
Awesome.
Share your experience.
Fantastic.
I give you the platform. I give you the clients. Now show them who we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You know, as somebody that experienced it yourself,
Correct.
you just didn't want to make other people feel that way.
No.
So when you were working with other people, did you work in a specific area? Were you in Nairobi the whole time?
Well, I was in Nairobi for some time. I do tours and excursions. Of course, I go on safaris, the multi-day safaris through the different parks for several days. Yes, it's the same thing I was doing. So I learned a lot from all those experiences working through these companies. I learned so many things.
Yeah.
So now I know how to perfect things even better.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I think I'm doing a really good job at that.
Based on our tour yesterday, I would say you did a very good job. We had a great time.
Wonderful.
So going back a little bit, back to you being a diplomat.
Yes.
What inspired you to, knowing you now as passionate you are as you are about wildlife?
Yes.
What inspired you to go to school for international relations? Why that?
I wanted to see the world. And what a better way to see the world other than that.
Being a diplomat.
Correct.
I love it. So have you seen the world?
I've seen some parts of Africa.
Nice.
I'm yet to get out of Africa. That's my next plan.
Good for you.
Yes.
Where is your favorite place in Africa?
Outside of Kenya, Tanzania.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've been to South Africa as well. Cape Town is beautiful. Really beautiful. Yes. But I love Tanzania.
Okay.
I love Tanzania.
And have you safaried there?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes. Yes,
I'm not going anywhere else unless I can do a safari.
But I want to experience safaris in South Africa.
Okay.
So I'm planning on it through maybe Zimbabwe, through Chalbi National Park. It's a good one. I want to experience those and learn a few things from those people. I'm sure I can pick one or two things. Yeah. Yes.
Now, what about gorilla trekking?
Gorilla trekking in Rwanda and Uganda. It's in my list.
Yeah.
But it's not for now. Okay. But it's in my list.
Yeah, that's okay.
But it's a good experience. You should try that one of these days.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I was looking at it actually last night and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so intense but so cool.
Yes, you have to pay the price.
That's true too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to be ready to climb the mountains, brave the cold, maybe the rains. Yeah. But it's worth it.
And rain, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I've had the opportunity to see the silverback from afar. Yes. I did once in Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because you can gorilla trek in Uganda too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uganda and Rwanda.
And Rwanda.
Okay.
Yes. Though Rwanda is mostly known because of their marketing and all that. But for you to really maybe have a more deeper connection with these gorillas, then Rwanda would be the perfect fit, though it's a little bit expensive compared to Uganda.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But both of them are fantastic.
Great.
Yes.
So where do you want to go? Where's your top place you want to go outside of Africa?
United States.
Really?
Yes.
Any particular part?
Texas.
Why Texas?
I'm a countryside boy.
Okay.
So I want to experience that. I want to buy some boots, put on some boots, put on the hats.
There's a lot of countryside for you in Texas or in the United States.
Yeah.
Really
I want to experience that. And of course, try New York, the Rainbow City, and just feel the vibe.
Yeah. The Big Apple.
Yes.
I feel like people should experience New York. It is an experience.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. I hope that happens for you.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that process like to try to come? Is it hard?
It is hard. From what I know, you have to have like invitations. Yeah. You have to have invitations from somebody in the United States where you'll be staying and all that. But to get a tourist visa is not that difficult. You can get it, but you still have to prove you're financially stable to survive in the number of days you'll be in the US.
Really?
They require all that documentation. Yes.
Wow.
So it's not, I would say, just get a flight and fly to the US. No.
Yeah.
They have a lot of restrictions until you get that visa.
Yeah. We don't realize how good we have it traveling from the United States. Yeah,
You're
truly.
very lucky. But most of you don't really understand how lucky you are to be American or an American.
Yeah.
And to have all these privileges.
Yeah, it is privilege for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You got to travel a little bit around Africa as a diplomat.
Mm-hmm.
When did you call it quits?
Around 2006. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're just like, this is not actually for me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was not getting what I want. Yes.
You weren't getting the travel experience you wanted.
Yeah, and I also felt I was not really being me, really living the kind of life I want to live. Yes. Because now I'm free. I get to do my thing, what I love.
That is true. You are a business owner.
I try.
Yes. No, that's very true.
I meet people all over the world, make great friends, lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
great
awesome.
Experiences.
Good.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
So I would love to talk. We talked a little bit yesterday during our tour about the different parks in Africa, the different parks specifically in Kenya.
Yes.
Sorry. And what you like best about them. And you have such a expertise having been, I'm assuming, to all of them multiple times. Yeah.
Yes.
And having the knowledge base that you do about safari, about the wildlife in general.
Yes.
So Masai Mara is the very popular one in Kenya.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts about that?
About the Mara?
Yeah.
This is a very controversial topic. But if I were to do the Mara, then for me, I believe the best experience you can get out of the Masai Mara is the wildebeest migration, the Great Migration. That's one of the best experiences you can really get out of the Masai Mara. Apart from that, all the other parks we have in the country and the reserves are also great and excellent, because every reserve and park in this country is unique and different from the other in terms of its unique landscapes, unique wildlife. Yes. Yeah.
How many of the parks in Kenya, how many parks are there in Kenya?
Wow. If I know, there are more than 10.
Wow.
There are more than 10. Yes. Starting from the Mara, Nakuru, Nairobi, Amboseli, Tsavo, Samburu, Olpajeta, Solio, Lewa. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I know 3 of them. I recognize 3 of those in your list.
Yes. So most people, lucky you 3, there are people who only know of the Mara. They don't know there's any other wilderness area in this country.
Wow.
But there are many and beautiful, incredible places apart from the Masai Mara.
Like you said earlier.
Yes.
The marketing that Rwanda does for the gorilla trekking means that people go there to do it, right?
Correct.
I feel like similarly, South Africa has done that for safari.
Yes.
And people don't necessarily think of Kenya, even the Masai Mara.
Yes. It's a debate we have been having even as a country and even as players in this industry that we need to do. We're not doing our marketing good enough as we should be doing it. The government is trying, but not to the levels we expect them to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, because Kenya is a great destination. And for those who discover it, they fall in love with this country. They keep on coming back and back and back.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We have had repeat clients who have been to Kenya even more than 5-10 times, but they never get tired of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could. The landscape is beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
It's lush and it's green.
Yes.
And there's so much to offer.
Yeah.
But I really love the conservation efforts.
Correct.
That are being put forth.
Yes.
To try to help stop poaching.
Yes.
Help keep the numbers of these animals in good standing. So I'd love to get a little bit more into that. But so for anybody that doesn't really know about safari or traveling to do anything of that nature, what is safari?
Safari literally means getting out in the wild and looking for wildlife in their natural habitat and enjoying it. That's all about safari.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can go for a drive in the park for one day, not sleep in the middle of nowhere,
yes.
and you still went on safari.
Correct.
See? I didn't know that before I came here.
Like you did in Nairobi National Park.
I did sleep in the park
yes.
for one day. I didn't go camping though.
But you can just leave in the morning, go do your game drive for 5 hours, come back. You've done a safari.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the day tour safaris, and then we have the multi-day safaris. The multi-day safaris where you go from one park, traversing through different regions across the country, seeing the countryside, moving from one park to the other. Yes.
And the thing that's really attractive about that is that you can get deeper into the parks, correct?
Correct.
And you're more likely to see
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Because you only have, they're huge. I don't think people realize how big they are.
Yes.
And so when you're talking about trying to see different things and trying to experience different animals, they're more concentrated the farther you go in.
Yes. Depending with which park you are, depending with the weather at that time, depending with the habitat at that time, that will depend on how dispersed or how close the wildlife is from where you are.
Yeah.
So when you do the safari and you do the game drives, then you go to search for this wildlife, this game in their natural habitat. It's not like a zoo or a sanctuary they're waiting for. Yes.
You go looking for them.
You go looking for them. Yes.
Yes, very true.
So it's a matter of chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. You could go in for a day and see nothing.
Correct. That's possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I was there for not much more than a day.
Yes.
And I saw a lot.
Well, nature is full of surprises.
It was fantastic. Truly.
Yes.
I tried to keep my expectations low.
Yeah.
Like, don't be upset if you don't see that much, right?
Correct.
But it was amazing. So amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in safari culture, there's what's known as the Big Five.
Correct.
And then you told me something I didn't know yesterday. There's a Special Five. So what's the Big Five and what's the Special Five?
The Big Five, of course, is what is mostly known, what we call the trophy animals. The lions, the elephants, the rhinos, the buffaloes, and the leopard.
Okay.
Those are the Big Five.
And why are they called the Big Five?
Because these are the animals that the hunters found it difficult to hunt. Hence, they call them the Big Five. The most trophied of the game. So hence the Big Five.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of terrible.
It's kind of terrible, but that's the history behind it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that they're the most difficult to see. It was that they were the most difficult to hunt. Okay.
That's the sad history behind it.
Yeah, truly.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the Special Five is...
The Special Five, these are a unique kind of breed that you only find in the northern part of Kenya, north of the equator. These are the gravy zebra, the Besa oryx, the reticulated giraffe, the Somali ostrich, and the gerenuk, or the giraffe-necked antelope.
Okay.
Yes.
And these are just very rare
Very
animals.
rare and only found on the northern corridor of the country.
And what park is that?
Samburu, you're likely to see them in Samburu National Reserve, Lewa Conservancy, Olpajeta Conservancy. If you're lucky enough, you go to Meru National Park, you might also see some of them. Even sometimes north of Savo East, you get to see some of them as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very neat.
Yeah.
So conservation, it sounds like Kenya has put a lot of effort into that.
That's true.
Recently?
Yes.
Or has that been a long-standing thing?
It's been there, but more efforts have been put in place recently. Yes. Because with the issues of climate change and all that, we are losing a lot of our wildlife, especially to climate change, apart from poaching and all that. It is high time the country started to take conservation efforts very seriously.
Yeah.
Yes, because we realize as a country, we were losing a lot of our wildlife due to different climate changes, climate issues, habitat loss, human-wildlife conflict is a big problem. As the population expands, they tend to invade wildlife conservation areas and wildlife corridors. So there's a lot of human-wildlife conflict. So these are some of the issues that are a big problem in the country. Yes.
Yeah. When we think of human-wildlife
conflict, yes.
Thank you. I think poaching comes to mind, but you're saying that it's just being human.
Yes.
Sometimes, and not really being aware of how we're affecting
the
nature around us.
Correct. When we encroach their habitats, then we're affecting their way of life. When we block their migratory corridors that they're used to, then we're affecting the way nature is supposed to balance itself. And these are some of the problems that come about. Then people sometimes, like communities that live around these wildlife areas, they end up having problems with maybe elephants or even lions, not realizing we're the ones who have encroached in their space.
Because then the elephants get displaced, not the people.
Correct. Because if elephants are used to this migratory corridor to move from this area to the next region, and then you settle in between their migratory routes, then definitely there's going to be a problem.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do you think has been Kenya's biggest push in terms of conservancy?
I think we've done really well, especially with rhino conservation and elephant conservation. Yeah, Kenya is doing really well. We are seeing the results. Our elephant numbers have been increasing steadily, and especially our black rhino numbers have been really increasing steadily from the brink of extinction now to, I would say, endangered. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Correct.
What was the shift, though, that made that a reality?
A lot of efforts from government to say no to poaching, to say no to ivory. And Kenya has been making serious statements, banning ivory. I don't know if you saw the ivory banning site in Nairobi National Park.
Yes.
You witnessed all those tusks and rhino horn that were banned, worth billions of dollars. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
How did that happen? So there's a site in Nairobi National Park called the Ivory Burning Site.
Yes.
So when did that happen and how did that come about?
It happened in the 90s. The first happened in the 90s. So this is a collection of so many tons of ivory that has been confiscated from poachers for so many years and just stored. So the government said it's not going to sell any of this ivory or rhino horn. It's going to ban it. Yes. To make a statement that we mean business when we say rhino horn or elephant tusk is worth more alive than dead.
Wow.
And that is true.
That's a huge statement.
Yes.
Truly.
Yes.
The government has cracked down on the selling of ivory.
Yes.
What motivation do poachers have then at this point to try?
Well, as long as you and I don't buy anything made of ivory, then they have no reason to poach. But as long as you buy anything made of ivory, then you give them a reason to continue poaching. And this remains a big problem, especially in the black market, where you have people who still trade in ivory.
It's crazy.
So this still creates a big problem in ivory poaching, in elephant poaching and rhino poaching. But what is happening in the recent years, the whole world has been pushing for all countries to ban ivory or rhino horn trade. And it's been working fantastically. So we are witnessing a case where the threat is still there, but not as rampant as it used to be.
That's great.
Yes, because we have a scenario where for almost 3 years, we have not had a single case of poaching in the country.
In Kenya?
In Kenya.
Wow.
Yes, that's a big success.
That's huge.
Yes, that's a big success.
Fantastic.
Yes.
We went and visited yesterday. One of the things we did on our tour was the Sheldrick
Wildlife Trust.
Yes, Wildlife Trust, where it's a elephant, or at least part of what they do is an elephant orphanage.
Yes.
Where they take baby elephants that have been orphaned for various reasons.
Correct.
Take care of them and then release them back into the
yes.
wild.
Correct.
So you said yesterday that you're like obsessed with elephants, basically.
Yes. They're my spirit animals.
Yes, they're your spirit animal.
Yeah.
I would love for you to just talk about why this is important, why this is an important part of conservancy, and why elephants are such incredible creatures and such a huge part of the ecosystem.
Well, elephants play a very important part in the ecosystem because elephants are one of our biggest in any habitat. They play a vital role because half of what an elephant feeds, half of it is not digested. So if they eat fruits with a lot of seeds, so they transplant these seeds from one region to the next. So we call them natural planters. Yes, that's one of the contributions that elephants make to our environment. Elephants, like you saw at the elephant sanctuary, elephants live in families, very neat, closely knit, small nuclear families and extended families. So if you destroy an elephant population, then you're literally destroying certain habitats because elephants also help in opening up landscapes, especially big forested areas, because they eat the bark of trees. Some of them fall down trees. So they help up in opening up land. Yes. Yeah. You asked me why conservation efforts for elephants are really on high gear, especially in Kenya. Our numbers in the 70s and in the 60s, we had thousands of elephants roaming the African continent. But in the heat of serious numbers of poaching in the African continent, we lost millions of elephants. And this reduced the numbers drastically. Yeah. So it will take us many years even before we can get to where we were in the 60s and 70s. Our elephant populations where they were. Because right now the challenges are even more severe, especially with climate change. Because apart from poaching, climate change is also becoming a big problem, not only for humans, but also for wildlife. Yes. Habitat loss, long periods of drought, where you have a lot of elephants dying because of long extended droughts. It's a big problem. Yeah. Did you ask me about the conservation efforts of the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust?
Yeah.
So what you saw yesterday at the nursery, at the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, that is the nursery, what we call the Nairobi nursery. So all rescued baby elephants are brought to the nursery, rehabilitated, because some of them have faced very traumatic experiences, especially poaching victims. They have seen their mothers getting killed and their ivory cut off. This is very traumatic for some of these baby elephants. And an elephant never forgets.
Yes, I've heard that.
An elephant never forgets. So that imagery will stay with that elephant for the rest of its life. Oh. They never forget. So to remove that trauma, it's not easy. Yes, it's not easy. So baby elephants can stay in these places for even up to, it depends, but maximum is up to 3 years. And then the process of reintegration starts to take place. So there are 2 reintegration centers from the nursery where these baby elephants can be reintegrated back into the wild. One is Idumba Reintegration Center, north of Savo East, and the other one is Mzima Springs in Kibwezi Forest. So Kibwezi Forest is, I would say, in terms of size, fairly small compared to the larger Savo East and Savo National Park. So the handicapped ones, the baby elephants that are handicapped or that cannot really withstand long movements from one region to the other, they take them to Mzima Springs in Kibwezi Forest, because here the wild herds that are there do not move as much as you find the wild herds in the larger Tsavo National Park. But the normal ones are taken to Idhumba Reintegration Center. So the process of reintegration, depending with the individual characteristics and behavior of each specific baby elephant, can take as long as 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yes. Because what happens in these reintegration centers, during the day, these baby elephants are just released into the wild. So depending on how fast the wild herds can adapt them, that will determine how long it will take for a baby elephant to become as wild as any other elephant. One day they will just leave the reintegration center and not come back. Then we have achieved our objective. They have become as wild as any other elephant.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things that they were talking about, and which is why it takes so long to reintroduce elephants into the wild, but also the same reason why they can be reintroduced into the wild is because they're very social creatures and their kind of survival depends on their ability to form these family units, right? So one of the things that I thought was really interesting was that they were saying when they're at the nursery, that the workers sleep in their pens with them.
Yes, that's correct.
Which just blows my mind. First of all, that effort is being made. I love it. But second of all, that these animals they get lonely.
That's true.
And so they need somebody to spend the night with them.
Yes.
Like an actual little kid.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, the more you know, and you alluded to this yesterday, the more you know about elephants, the more you realize how special they are as creatures.
Yes.
As far as poaching goes regarding elephants and rhinos, I guess, is the only reason that they get killed because of their ivory?
That's all. Nothing else. They just want their ivory and the rhino horn. That's all they want.
So these huge, majestic creatures that literally have families get killed for their tusks and their horns.
Only that.
Gross.
That's all they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just need the elephant tusk and the rhino horn.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Is there anything, like, this may be a stupid question, but is there anything made of ivory that we wouldn't necessarily be aware of, that it's been made of ivory?
Ivory is very outstanding.
Okay.
I don't think you can really miss ivory.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know if is it something they use to put in like your cell phone and nobody tells you that.
Not really.
That's good to know.
Not really.
Okay, so you can't accidentally
it's not easy to find ivory being sold outside of the black market unless you go to some Asian countries where they still allow legal sale of ivory or rhino horn.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do their numbers look like then?
I really don't know.
Do they have rhino over there?
No, they don't.
They have elephant though.
They have Asian elephant. Rhinos, you have some rhinos in some parts of India, I think.
Okay.
Yes. But most of the ivory and rhino horn, they want it from Africa.
Oh.
Yes.
Isn't that convenient?
Because our elephants, the African bush elephant is very different from the Asian elephant.
Okay.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly.
It's very ridiculous.
The other place that we visited yesterday was the giraffe.
Yes. Correct. The giraffe center. Yes.
So the elephant orphanage is an orphanage.
Yes.
But the giraffe center has a different purpose.
Correct.
Which is
the giraffe center is mainly a breeding center, but is also an educational center. Yes. So it also plays a vital role in the conservation of our giraffes, especially the Rothschild giraffe, because it's one of our most endangered giraffes that we have in the country.
How did it become endangered, the Rothschild?
Yes. Now, this relates back to some of our cultural practices of some of our people.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to believe in some medicinal values of their skin and also the beauty of the skin hides. That's what they used to do. So in that process, we ended up losing a lot of the Rothschild giraffe.
Okay.
Yes. And that's why the numbers dwindled so much, because it was a very rare giraffe. So it was highly hunted for its skin. Yes.
Is that still an issue today?
No.
Okay.
No. So hopefully the numbers will steadily continue to rise over time. Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So there's all of these efforts being made to conserve the wildlife, to hopefully get people to come appreciate it in a way that doesn't damage the ecosystem.
Yes.
So as far as safari goes and visiting and how crowded it can get,
yes,
does that play a role in conservation in terms of, is there too much contact being made between people and wildlife? Should it be more limited? I know that's an opinion, but should it be more limited? Should it be more protected in a way? I don't know. I have very little experience with this.
I would not say it should be limited or anything, but it can be regulated in such a way we don't really affect the well-being of this wildlife. It should be controlled in such a way, if it's like maybe a lion sighting or a leopard sighting, you don't have these so many vehicles crowding this animal and blocking it from maybe its view or its normal way of living. It should be regulated in such a way that you have controlled viewing of this game. Yes. Because then when you have overcrowding, it not only contributes to habitat destruction and habitat loss, but it also affects the normal functioning and behavior of this wildlife.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing I thought was really interesting is that you can drive yourself through Nairobi National Park.
Yes. Nairobi National Park, because it's within the city, Kenyans can drive themselves or any other person. If you know your way through the park, the rules, you understand how you're supposed to relate to animals. But of course, very few understand these things.
Exactly.
Yes.
But they can still do it.
They can still do it. They try to regulate it and maybe give them some instructions as they enter the park. But it's not as effective as it would be. And that is why sometimes it's best you get a guide.
Yeah. I can't imagine
because
navigating.
Even a guide also enriches your experience. Correct. Because he knows the wildlife. He'll guide you through the park. He will teach you things and make you learn things you might not have known. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think it would be a way to cut down on some of the traffic then as well?
Correct.
Yeah.
That will also help in reducing some of the traffic. Yes.
Do other parks, because Nairobi National Park's the only one I've been to, do other parks have the same issues of overcrowding?
Yes. Some of them do, especially during the Great Wildebeest Migration in the Mara. Overcrowding is still a big problem. Yes.
And again, the human-wildlife conflict, you don't want to disrupt what's naturally happening.
You want it to remain as free as it can be and as comfortable as it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any other park that you can drive yourself through?
Some, if you know them.
People can say whatever they want, right? But you're allowed to technically do it in other parks.
Some of them you are.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, almost all of them you can.
Really?
No. But in some conservancies you cannot.
Okay.
You have to be driven around.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like that's a fair rule.
Yes. And I think it should be the rule in every other park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because not just you don't know your way around, but you have no idea where these animals are going to be. Where I feel like it would be so much easier to hurt them.
Correct.
Yeah.
And yes, that's one of them. And you find in some parks, some people just, maybe because they don't know, they even hoot in the park or play loud music in the park. Yeah. Yeah.
How dangerous is it, I guess, from what I saw in Nairobi National Park?
Correct.
The animals seemed very unbothered by us.
Yes.
I imagine if anything feels threatened, it's going to react instinctively.
Yes.
But generally speaking, they seem fine with the comings and goings and everybody whipping out their cameras and phones. And I'm, of course, guilty of that myself. I wanted a picture.
Yes.
But is there a point, you think, where do they generally find us to be non-threatening? Is there a point where that crosses the threshold?
Well, that is why when you're viewing wildlife, you should leave, there's a certain space you should give this wildlife.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a distance you should always maintain from this wildlife because you don't want to interfere with them or in a way become threatening to them. Yes. And that is why when you're doing your game drives within the parks or safari, you don't get out of the safari vehicle. Yes. Because the moment you get out, you become a threat and you can easily be attacked by this wildlife. Yes.
That seems like a no-brainer, but I imagine it gets disobeyed.
Yeah, there are people who try to disobey it, but at your own risk.
Right.
Yes.
Truly, at your own risk, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely unprepared or shocked a little bit about how calm they all were with us.
Yes.
Us being there.
Yes.
And surrounding them.
Yes.
And it made it feel less like we were in this wild place. And I don't know what I expected. I didn't expect anything super aggressive. But it was really shocking to me that they could not be bothered. They could not care less what we were doing.
Some of them, because of the many years of tourists seeing all these tourist vehicles and these tourists and not bothering them, then that tends to make them very calm. And that is why you cannot get out of your safari vehicle.
Yeah.
Because as long as you're in a safari vehicle and you keep your distance, you're not a threat.
Right.
Yes. But the moment you get out, you become a threat.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
It's just the same way. If you meet a security dog and you don't act in a threatening way, it won't bother with you.
Sure.
But the moment you threaten it in any way, it will attack you.
Yeah.
It's the same way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you hope for the future of conservation? Nothing's perfect, obviously. There can always be improvements.
Yes.
So what would you like to see happen to improve conservancy within Kenya?
The future, I hope to see increased numbers of our wildlife to what it used to be, if it's possible, or even close to what it used to be. Huge numbers of rhinos, huge numbers of elephants, huge numbers of lions, leopards. That is what literally conservation is supposed to do, and conserve our wildlife spaces for future generations. That's literally the whole idea of conservation, and to help protect create a balance in nature and our habitats. Yeah. That's all about conservation. Yes.
What do you think the balance is between conservation and tourism?
That's a very tricky question. Yes, that's a very tricky question because, yes, the tourism brings in the money, but then again, in a way, when these numbers are not controlled or they're too much in certain habitat areas, then it becomes a problem.
Sure.
Yes, it's a very thin line between these two efforts, conservation and tourism. But tourism can also play a very important role in helping in conservation efforts.
Yes.
Yes. That is
for multiple reasons, I imagine.
For multiple reasons, correct.
The money that
the
you
money,
pay
yes,
is supposed to go into that.
Of course.
Right?
It's part of what helps with these conservation efforts. Yes.
But then also I imagine people seeing these animals in the wild, in their habitat, there has to be some movement within yourself to feel like this matters.
Correct.
Right?
That is what we hope.
Yeah.
That they will get to appreciate why they need to support conservation efforts and why they need to play a big part in helping in us conservation these wildlife spaces, these habitat areas, and this wildlife for future generations. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. It's amazing.
Excellent.
So prior to COVID, you had a great couple of years.
Yes.
You were riding high, getting it done, building your business.
Not really high, but getting there.
And then COVID happens and the entire world shuts down. But tourism especially took such a hit.
Yes.
Everywhere. But I imagine it's been slower to come back here.
I would not say we are where we were. We're not even close to that. But we are steadily seeing great improvements, but very steadily.
Yeah.
Yes. Because remember, everybody was affected economically.
Yes. Truly.
So even everyone else is trying to recover from the effects of COVID for them to be able to afford some of these travel experiences.
Yeah.
But then again, from the many I've met, we're also seeing people who not travel now are traveling because, I don't know, maybe they got a new perspective about life. Yeah. And realize maybe life is too short. Yeah.
I'm not going to wait to do that thing.
Correct.
Because anything could happen any day.
Correct.
I think that has been a positive outcome. There's been a lot of negative outcomes from COVID. But I think that has been a positive outcome. People have realized how different life could be in the blink of an eye.
Correct.
Everything changed.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they don't want to waste any more time.
I think so.
Which is good.
Yeah, it is good.
It's not a bad perspective to have.
Yes.
For sure. So you've been building back up the last couple of years.
Yes.
You're not where you were before, but you're hoping to get back there.
Yes.
What's your most popular excursion?
The one we did yesterday.
That is?
Yes. That's a top.
Because it's right from Nairobi, right?
Yes. That's the Shedrick Wildlife Trust. That's a top tourist destination.
I'm sorry. Who doesn't want to see baby elephants?
Yes. Though? Nairobi National Park.
Okay.
It's an excellent, also as well a top excursion. Yeah, the giraffes. The top one is Hell's Gate. You did not get to do that. Hell's Gateway is where you cycle in the park.
Oh, you were telling me about that yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. It's the only park you can cycle. It's a very scenic park with a beautiful gorge. Yes.
And there are animals in there?
Yeah, of course, there are animals, but there are no lions.
Okay.
Yes.
Hippo?
Yeah. Hippos, you find them in Lake Naivasha. But in Hell's Gate, we don't have hippos.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I don't want any hippos or lions that are able to chase me.
Yes.
Or buffalo.
They're buffalo, but they don't really bother you. Okay. But of course, you're with your guide when you're doing your cycling and all that.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah. Yes.
What is something that you haven't done that you would like to do within your company to take people to do something?
I would like to try taking people to the Chalbi Desert. Okay. Yeah. To experience that, as well as the gorillas.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
The gorilla experience.
Have you done excursions with clients outside of Kenya?
Outside Kenya?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, where have you gone?
Tanzania.
Oh, okay. With clients?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You're just going to take over Africa. That's what I'm hearing.
We work with partner companies in these places. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we did say the name of your company. So it's Rustic
Nature Tours.
Nature Tours. I don't know why I forget the middle word. Rustic Nature Tours.
Yes.
And you're on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook.
You have a website.
We have a website.
Which we'll link to everything in the show notes.
Correct.
When we
Wonderful.
Publish this.
Wonderful.
So I do have a question that I ask everybody at the end of each episode. And it's through the lens of your experience, what you've lived through.
Yes.
What does compassion mean to you?
Compassion? What compassion means to me? That's a very noble question. It means that I treat you and I see you the way I see myself. For me, that's compassion.
Yeah.
If I don't want to be hurt, I will not hurt you. If I want favor from you and I need favor myself, then I'll give you favor. If you need a helping hand, the same way I would need a helping hand is the same way I would help you. In other words, I see you as a human being.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
How do you think that your experience with wildlife and just the connection that you've had there has affected your view of compassion?
I've seen very compassionate animals. I've seen animals hurting when the course of nature take its course, when other animals hunt them. I've seen elephants crying because they have lost some of them. Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen elephants get emotional mourning their dead. Yes. So these are really changed my perspective of the way of life and also how to see things from a different angle. If animals can be this compassionate, what about us human beings?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a life lesson for sure.
Correct.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sorry we got interrupted a couple of times. And I don't know what happened, why this is an issue, but
yes.
Whatever.
Yes. It's what it is.
It is what it is. You did a good interview.
I hope so.
Yeah, it was good.
Excellent.
It was very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to The Human Experience. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share it with your friends and family, share it on social media, and rate and review it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also support the podcast financially by going to my website, thehxpod.com, linked in the show notes, and clicking on Donate. It takes a lot of time and resources to create this podcast, so every little bit helps. Everyone has a story, and I'd love to hear yours, so be sure to check out the show notes for more information about how to stay in touch. Do good and love well.